Hello, this is Callie Troutman, and I am recording my report one for SGD289 project. What you're seeing is my proposed game in the Unity game engine, and I am going to talk a bit first about the project in general and why I chose it. I have been modeling for a number of years with the SGD program, and one of the first things I started modeling were assets from the original Candyland board game. So I've done quite a bit of work over the years with different models, and so I thought it would make sense for this sort of capstone project to try to keep working with my Candyland game idea. And that's the reason I selected it. And I have, apart from modeling, done a 3D Game Boy version of one of the game pieces, and not so much animation, but I did make a 2D Candyland game in the Programming 2 course, which I have is playable, and you can play it on itch, and did a lot of good work with Perry on that. So I decided for a final project that it would make sense to combine the three-dimensional models and try to make a three-dimensional Candyland game, somewhat similar to the 2D version. I don't think I'm going to have time to do the complete game by March 4th. So what I proposed, and Farhad accepted, was doing an initial level where the Game Boy is just exploring the Candyland board with the three-dimensional assets loaded in it. And I will be trying to animate a number of them. And of course, trying to animate the boy as he's walking around the board. So for this stage, I had proposed the following. One was to research which model of the Game Boy I wanted to use in the game in Unity. And that actually took quite a bit of time and effort. I had my own model, but I would have had to have changed it into a T-pose, rigged it, and animated it. I decided I did not have time to do that, given my rusty skills. I also loaded in a Mixamo boy, and I tried to alter his skin and materials. And I decided to abandon that. It was not working very well in Unity. So I've ended up just importing the Mixamo model and two animations, an idle animation and a walking animation, and that so far is working. So I did accomplish researching the model, picking one, and another goal I had was putting an animated game piece into Unity, and as you can tell, I did do that as well. Then going back to the models I have, for the 3D models I have, I am going to pull up my 3ds Max file. I wanted to make a walkthrough so that you could see how the assets would look. And I also had accomplished that. I had never done a walkthrough before in 3ds Max, so it was useful to learn how to do that. I am going to post the video of that walkthrough separately on my Google Sites. And my last goal was to start the actual Unity file, which you can see I have done. The only thing I did not accomplish, which has bedeviled me, is what I thought would be quite simple. I've done it in other games, is adding simple box colliders and mesh and capsule colliders on some of the assets that I have loaded in. I have not figured out why that is not working. So that is a goal for the next stage, is to get these colliders working. So I am going to play the game as I have gotten it so far. I have loaded in Cinemachine. The last game I made, I did a camera follow script where the camera follows the Game Boy, and it didn't work all that smoothly. And I tried to use the same script and do that here. It also did not work well at all. So I decided to try loading in the Cinemachine, which I have not used before, and followed the video on YouTube how to get it going, and it seems to work a lot better. So that is what I am using now. And I also, as you will see, have loaded the walking and idle animation, and they are alternating. The animation controller for the Game Boy alternates between them, but it needs to be correlated to pressing down the keys, and I do not know how to do that yet. So I am just going to play the game as it stands right now. So far I am controlling the movement by using the arrow and WASD keys, and that's what I will probably end up doing. So you can see he is mostly idling, but he also alternates between walking. And you can see he is able to walk right through the assets, which is not what I want. I can get him to show you. There he goes, right through. So that is the game so far. You can see I've loaded in some of the assets like the Hershey's Kisses, the Molasses Swamp, the Twizzler Gates, the ice cream cones, the Gumdrop Mountains. I also, during this time period, refined my model for the snow cave and added the M&M pieces to it. I've actually spent quite a bit of time with the modeling, with the 3DS part. I made this bed also. It's all mine except for the pillow. And I changed some of the textures from what I had as well. So I'd say I've spent at least half my time on the 3DS piece of it. So it's been hard. Still feel a bit lost with some of the scripting and Unity issues, but I think I made a good start.